Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be looking at what the hell are you supposed to do when you finally finished your first draft. You have spent months, maybe even years, planning and writing this thing. You've designed characters, you've designed worlds, you've got their character arcs perfectly, you've outlined the plot, you have worked tirelessly to get rid of every stinking friggin' plot hole that you've come across, and now it is all out there on the page in front of you. It's done, it is completed, you have typed the end or to be continued, you have finished. Great, now what? Well, there's the urge to celebrate, there's the urge to scream from the rooftops, hey, I wrote something. You can send it off to people to show off, you could even have the urge to lock it away and hide and never let it see the light of day. However, if you are one of those people who want to share it and hopefully get it published, then you're probably thinking, what am I supposed to do now? And I am one of those people. What am I supposed to do now? Me personally, I am in the editing stages of my first 2 branded books. I am flailing like mad and I am struggling to find out what I'm supposed to do. But yes, I'm trying to enlighten anybody out there who might be in the same boat as me or thinks they might be coming close. So maybe we can help each other out because I need the advice as much as I'm giving it. Unqualified person over here thinking she knows what she's doing. This is all just personal experience, by the way. This is just the steps that I've been taking. If you have found a more efficient way of doing it, then please let me know. So you finished your first draft, it is all there, you've written the whole thing, it is out, ready to go, and you feel like, oh my god, I can finally breathe. Well, yes, you've gotten the hard bit out the way, but now comes even more stress, which is why, and I know I have kind of slated this in the past, but people have always said once you finish a big project, you need to take a break. Honestly, I am one of those people where I can't just stop. I don't like taking breaks, I don't like not doing anything. It honestly drives me crazy when I've spent so long working on something and then it just stops and people are like, oh well, you can just relax now. No, I cannot. I cannot just relax now because there are still a million steps to take and I am nowhere near completing any of them and you're expecting me to just take a break. That doesn't make sense to me. However, I've been trying to force myself to do it simply because I know that I also burn out very, very quickly, as I have found out during these lockdowns and these NaNoWriMos and stuff like that. So yes, I do try and force myself to be some kind of hypocrite and take a break. Although I can't take breaks from really that long a time, there are some people out there who I have full respect for with their patience that can take 3 months off away from a project to have a completely clear mind, so when they go back to this project it is fresh and brand new and they can really get right into it because they've had such a long time away from it that their biased in the moment opinion has kind of dwindled slightly, so they can just go right into it. Me, I am lucky if I can take a week off. I can only take a week away from writing before I start feeling like antsy, like I really need to get back into it, and even in that time I might be working on a different project or I might start something new. I just need to do something. However, I do force myself to take at least a week away from this finished project. It's not easy. It is really not easy for me, that's just the way my brain works. But it does give a level of fresh perspective. It does let you take a breather. It does let you focus on something else. It lets you give a little bit more attention to other genres or other projects that you've been ignoring, or even just have a complete blitz around the house and clean everything that you've been meaning to. Going back to that project after any length of time does give you a fresh perspective. I wish I could take longer, but my brain won't let me. So this next step can go one of 2 ways, I suppose. It depends on your situation. I have a few beta readers. One really likes me sending her my work chapter by chapter. So as soon as I finish chapter 1, it gets sent off to her. As soon as I finish chapter 2, sent off to her. She likes to read it that way so that she can make edits rather than getting overwhelmed all at once, because she does have a lot of other stuff going on, which is completely fair. And it works for me as well, because then I know I'm going to be getting some type of feedback as soon as I'm ready for it. So that works. But my other beta readers prefer to have the entire project delivered to them all in one go, which again, completely fine. That's probably the more normal way of doing it, and they're happy to power through. Sorry, I just see the light reflecting off my watch there. So you need to remember that these beta readers are not there to fix every single one of your mistakes. They are just humans. They are people who have volunteered to help you out, so you need to help them out as much as possible as well. So if you do have a beta reader like my first one, where you're sending chapter by chapter, then you know that the majority of mistakes or grammar or anything that doesn't quite make sense is going to be there listed, ready for you. But with beta readers like my second kind, who like to have the whole project, you need to give them time, which relates back to taking a break, because you need to give them time to read. You can't just like the next day go, oh, have you read the whole thing yet? You need to give them time to actually read and dissect what you sent them. You can't send it to them and then the next day go, oh, have you read it yet? Because you're that eager to get into editing. It doesn't work that way. It's not fair on them, and it just kind of takes away the whole you need to calm down, take a break kind of thing as well. You need to give them time, which means you need to give yourself time as well. In that time, if you don't want to take a break, or if you have taken a break and they still haven't finished reading, which is completely fine, they're doing things at their own pace, and if you need to give them a little bit of a nudge, then do it, but respectfully. But in that time, read it over yourself. They're not there to catch every single mistake. It's going to be impossible for just one person to pick up every single mistake. So if you reread and start editing your work now, then if they've pointed out something that you've already caught, then you don't need to worry about it because it's all sorted. But if you've done a load of editing and then they realise, oh, you need to do this as well, good. Preferably if you do have someone who wants the entire project all in one go, then you have that time to read through the entire thing, start your editing, look for any grammar mistakes, any plot holes, any continuity errors, that kind of thing, so that when you're sending it to them, it's a little bit more cohesive and it's easier for them to read, so that therefore they can focus more on the story or the grammar, whichever one you are hoping from them. Maybe both, if they're ambitious. I don't know. The chapter by chapter beta readers, they're going to probably catch more in one go because they have smaller doses to look at and it's more manageable. So then when you start going over things and they're already like beat you to it, like, oh, so I've already noticed this, this and this, then you're golden. You just need to really look over your work before you send it to people, is what I'm saying. Even if someone is taking stuff chapter by chapter, you need to read those chapters very quickly. Don't get caught up with editing while writing, because that's how you get caught in a loop, but just give a quick read through just to make sure, is this what I really wanted to send? Okay, off you go. Just get it out there. I know it's scary trying to send work out to people and the idea that someone could be reading your work, but you know, if you want to be a published author, then everyone's going to be reading your work. Beta readers are a good practice session to just get over that fear. I am not personally over that fear completely, but you know, I've got one leg over the hurdle, which is something. The first read through really should be all on you. It should be your responsibility to make sure that you do read this thing through, whether it's straight after you finish writing or after your break, where you can just comb through it before you send it to people. The chapter by chapter, it's a little bit harder, but you know, that's your situation. If you just want to send it completely raw, then go for it. That's kind of what I've been doing. I try not to. I try to actually read through it properly before sending it off, but I get impatient with myself and I just need to get the thing done. Basically, this will go on for a while. You will send it out to people. They will send you back their edits. You will go through the thing again. You will make your edits. You will maybe argue with the beta readers on a few plot things, but you know, that's down to you. You will fix any plot holes. You will get it done. You'll think, yes, now I'm finished. But then you have to send it to beta readers again, and they will have to read through it again. And maybe they'll find new mistakes. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll find a new plot hole. Maybe they won't. You won't know. And the editing process will circle around again, because The first draft is called a first draft for a reason, because there will be hundreds more. And it can be such a disheartening thing knowing that you have to make so many changes, that you are constantly moving things around, that you don't always know what you're going to get back, that just when you think you've gotten something right, a new issue pops up. It can be disheartening, but the point of a first draft is that it is the first draft. There are going to be more. It is going to keep getting better and better and better, until the point where you might not even want to even think about this story ever again, but it is going to be golden for so many people. This isn't necessarily advice, but it is something that I tend to do. I like to keep, like, no matter how many edits I've done, I mean, the first branded book, I think I'm on edit 4 or 5 at this point. I've genuinely lost count, but if you keep your first ever draft, just keep a copy of it. When you look back at what you've written now compared to your first draft, it is going to be such a confidence boost, because you know that you have improved. You've got a physical copy of your improvements right there. I'm not saying keep a copy of every single set of edits, because that will just be a lot of clutter and really hard to keep track of, but just keep that first, because it meant something. That was where the journey started, and it does help you really learn from your past mistakes. So then when you are making the 5th or 6th or millionth edit, and you have this 10,000th draft that you're ready to publish, and you have that final book in your hands, you can just look back at that first draft and know that it was worth it, because that is where you started, this is where you are. It is your own character arc. That's really the main 3 things you can do when you finish your first draft, is take that break and take the time to celebrate and enjoy that you have accomplished something amazing. Go through the edits in your own time and make sure that you have something that you do want to send to people. And 3, actually send it to people. Send it to beta readers to help you with the editing process, because the editing process is not fun at all. I hate the editing process with a passion, but it is a necessary evil in order to grow, in order to expand, and, you know, eventually get the damn thing published. So yeah. I do want to go into more detail of what you need to do after the first lot of edits, but then we're venturing away from what to do after a first draft, so that's going to be another video for another time. But yeah, no one said that this was going to be fun. Just enjoy what you've done. Just take pride in the fact that you have this first draft, that this is your baby, this is something that you worked so hard for, and now you get to chop it to pieces and make it into something better. That is not the nicest way of putting it, but there we go. What do you do when you have a first draft? You celebrate, because there's a big storm coming. I hope you guys had fun with this video. It was a good little mini rant, I suppose. If you have any advice for me, please let me know. I'd love to hear it. But yeah, I'm gonna stop here before I go into outer first draft territory. Just please be patient, be mindful, and don't be afraid to edit and talk to people about it, because that's how it's going to get better. That's just the way it goes. I don't make the rules. I really wish I did, because if I did, then it would be first draft perfection, off you go. Yep, as I said, gonna finish here. So I hope you're doing well, I hope you're staying safe, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, my scribblers.